All right. There is. It come on. Okay. All right, for the delay, technical difficulty. Somebody pushed the wrong button, I think. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. 6:34 p.m. Would please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of the Republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Roll call. Dan Stokes present. Carolyn present. Billy Childress present. Lori Easton present. Approve meeting minutes.
I move we approve the meeting minutes of 4/7/26 regular meeting minutes.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Approved claims, the May 2026 docket. I move to approve
May 2026 docket. I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And approve the April 2026 bank reconciliation as presented.
I move the April 2026 bank reconciliation.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Public request to speak, topics not related to an agenda item. Step up to the podium. You were raising your hand. Please state your name.
I'm Susie Rich, and I'm representing the Tri-Area Library. And I have a question for the town. As you know, the state of Indiana bordered our entrance to the library and the sidewalk around it. About a year ago, we have one question. You know, the fire hydrant is it kind of encapsulated with a little bitty grassy area that we could use scissors to cut the grass. And my question is, what may we do so that we don't have to use a weed eater there?
As soon as the state finishes their project, we can go out there, pull the grass out, and put concrete in. I can't do anything until the state finishes and signs off on the project.
Okay, thank you.
That's my plan anyways. How's that?
I love it.
Thank you, Susie. Anyone else?
Yeah. Hey. Tina Smith. I want chickens. I want chickens. I got one of these babies. I know to my limits because I live within the town limits. I want to know what I can do to amend that ordinance, to change that ordinance, to do whatever I need to do. I'm not got a rooster. I want chickens.
That's been discussed several years ago.
Well, that was years ago, and I'll bring it back up today. Okay? I'm not being disrespectful, and I'm not mad. I just want chickens. I've got over 2 acres. I got almost 3 acres out there, and I have a property up for sale, and I couldn't sell it because it couldn't be homesteaded. People couldn't put chickens on it. They couldn't put a goat on it. They couldn't. I just want some chickens. I like everybody else's chickens, eggs. I want to raise my own chicken eggs. So you tell me what I have to do to change your mind. Because I'm pretty persuasive. Bet on that. You got a bet on that. Okay, y'all want to think about it and let me know? Please, I just want some chickens. No, I can't have a horse. I'm not trying to have a bunch of stinky pigs out there. I get it.
There is an ordinance that states that you cannot have farm animals or livestock within city limits of Jamestown. Okay,
What?
this is your formal public request for the council to revisit it. So we can take the request.
What do we consider livestock? I mean, if I had some chickens and I had a really nice condo and I gave names and I had some boys out there, would they really be so different than my dog? Because I don't need a rooster, so I don't have to have
Are
that
you
loud.
looking up the definition, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, really, let's just please. Because I'm not gonna eat the meat, I just want the eggs.
Indiana code defines livestock as domestic animals except the following: aquatic animals, fish, ducks, cats, poultry and other birds, livestock. So I'd have to look at the ordinance and see exactly what it says in
Okay,
terms of the definition, but there's a state code definition for it.
that's a great start, I'm down with that.
But that was just reiterated when we redone the planning, board, we had that measurement and what that we wrote. And it was reiterated about the livestock. Damn. So maybe back to what I said.
Right.
No, I'm just saying.
Right, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't want my neighbors to have pigs or cows. It's all, I'm not asking for pigs and cows, so I'm asking for like, a random amendment, is there's a clause. Please, section A with an A, B, and C in it, right? I mean, we always got that dot in there. Can't we just put some dots in there? And then if they don't like the dots, they can come in, they can fight the dot. I just want to start with the A. I want some chickens. I've lived here for 25 years now. I want some chickens. So you'll look up and find out what the actual term means, and then look at our closet for us out here, and then tell me where we go from there. And then I will figure out what I have to do from there to change y'all's mind.
We'll have to take a look at the ordinance and see what it says.
Perfect, that's a great start, I'm down with that.
And take direction from the council.
I appreciate that. Lori, you happy with that answer?
No.
Chickens.
Hey, our house is divided. I said no chickens. Oh. So
Perfect, stop. I mean,
you,
we have to put a lawn today.
you are a citizen, you brought it to our attention,
Yes,
and I will look into the definition,
okay,
and if you get Lori your email,
okay.
then we will discuss this at the next town council meeting in June.
Right here, next time, next month.
Yeah.
I'm
Make sure Lori has your
gonna get it right now.
email address, please.
You got pen and paper?
Anyone else? Sewer plant update, John Query.
Hey, good evening. On the sewer plant, contractor's progressing along. They're working on getting the equipment installed in the SBR, the new SBR tank. They're shooting to be nearly complete with all installations by the end of this month or 1st of June, and then they'll start equipment startups with the manufacturers. And they're planning to be fully operational in mid-June with everything. So um, that's kind of where that stands. Don't really have any issues or anything on that to discuss, but moving right along, heading towards completion. So. Any questions on the sewer plant?
You know,
I did have, if not, Shane on I had something on the State Road 75 NDOT utility relocation project. So the PAF, the contractor, there's some final restoration items that weren't addressed or that they didn't address sufficiently. So Josh, in talking with Josh, he's aware, and he brought this up about having the town's own contractor come in and finish up the final restoration. PAF agreed via email that would be okay. So that would require deducting some costs from their contract and then using that to pay the town's contractor to finish it up. So really, it would be a no cost change to the overall contract, but it would be a deduct to PAF. I'm waiting on them to sign that change order, but I wanted to go ahead and present that tonight so we don't have to wait a month to get approval, so we could go ahead and move it forward. What I'd like to present for your consideration is to give Shane, if you're so inclined, the authority to sign that change order. Once PAF signs it, it would be for a decrease of $5,015. And then those funds would be used to pay the town's contractor, Hankins, to finish the work to appropriately and as required.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
I make a motion to allow PAF to deduct $5,015,
And pay that to Hankins Excavating for finish of the 75 project. I'll second.
all in favor? Aye. There you go, John. When you get it, I'll sign it.
Okay. That's all I had for tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. See you.
Resolution 2026-05 surplus fire equipment, fire department. Resolution 2026-05, whereas the town council, the town of Jamestown, Indiana met at a duly called and authorized meeting of the council and has determined that the following items are no longer needed and should be declared surplus and disposed of accordingly, according to Indiana law. Now therefore, the town council of Jamestown, Indiana states as follows: the following items on attached page labeled Exhibit A is declared to be surplus property and shall be disposed of according to Indiana Code 5-22-22. No warranties or guarantees on any equipment, all of which is resolved this 12th day of May 2020. Not gonna read the 3 pages of surplus items. But I do have a question. Okay. One? Yes, it's Jim. I know and Joe have worked extensively on these. And I thought that we had surplus some of those before. So when this passes this evening, the surplus is, I need you and Joe to make sure that this stuff is properly disposed of. And it is not stuck in a closet for the next time Jason Leibowitz is sitting up here going through this.
Or maybe.
He's sitting there. I feel like some of these items on this have been on past couple of years, list. Now I want to make sure that it's properly disposed of. Make sure.
How do we properly dispose?
It just depends on what the items are. We'll try to find better homes for them. I know a lot of the turnout units are gonna go to work debts, and it's gonna be legal for that year, so we can figure they identify them on scene. But that allows them to train with us and to participate in some of our events, not on emergencies, but in heavily supervised training. Things like old textbooks, there's no market for it, so we'll just have to figure out whether we dispose of them or find other homes for them. That's
The process.
The 1985 version might go to the Historical Society.
We've got plenty of stuff like it, historical society, if you'd like it.
Sure, will be smart with the cadet stuff, I mean. Margaret, no, just like pants, everything,
Yeah, we're gonna probably spray paint across the back, so they're clearly identifiable.
sounds good.
Wait for the next one.
That's all. That's all I had, Zach. I just want to make sure that it's properly disposed of.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-05, surplus equipment, fire department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2026. Resolution 2026-06. Whereas Jamestown Community Partnership, JCP, is a partner in promoting the continued well-being of the town of Jamestown. Whereas the JCP has agreed to host the American 250th celebration to celebrate America's 250th birthday with family fun and entertainment. And whereas the Jamestown Town Council recognizes and appoints the JCP to host such events to promote continued quality of life events in Jamestown. And whereas the JCP has requested that the town recognize, sponsor, and permit the use of town-owned downtown park as the location of the America 250th celebration. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the town council of the town of Jamestown, on behalf of the citizens of Jamestown, Boone County, Indiana, recognize that June 20th, 2026, as the Jamestown Community Partnership, JCP, America 250th celebration, and grants the JCP and its officers permission to use the town-owned Jamestown Downtown Park as the location of the event. Passed adopted by the town council of the town of Jamestown, Indiana on this 12th day of May, 2026.
I move that we accept this resolution 2026-06. Jamestown Community Partnership and the celebration, 250th celebration.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Ordinance 2026-05, the rezone. House of Grace. Plan Commission staff report and the PC certificate. Room limit, everyone's comments, 3 to 5 minutes. You have 3 to 5 minutes, say your concerns or your piece. There will be no rebuttaling. You won't, so you get up and you say your piece, and that's it. We're not gonna keep coming up and rebuttaling what someone else has said. So with that being said, we're not going to be hateful. We're going to be organized, peaceful. You have something to say, we want to hear it. Whether you're for it or against it. And this is about a rezone. It's not about the use of the property. It's about the rezone of the property. If there is concern of what is going in the building after the rezone, and as a public official, I feel it's my responsibility to listen to those who do not like what you want to put into that building. So I will listen to them. I will give them their time to say their piece. So with that being said, I'll read the NC staff report. Actually, I'm not going to read the staff report. I'm going to read the certificate of recommendation. May 7th, 2026. Amendment to the zoning map, PC 26-001-ZA. In accordance with Indiana Code 36-7-4-608, the Jamestown Planning Commission hereby certifies their recommendation to the Jamestown Town Council as described below. At their public hearing held on May 7th, 2026, for Indiana Code 36-7-4-608, the Jamestown Planning Commission gave a favorable recommendation to change the zone map for property at 42 South High Street from Community Facilities, CF, to Downtown Mixed Use, DT, with the condition that a parking area be installed within 1 year of zoning approval. A map on the proposed district changes are contained in the attached draft ordinance. No conditions were made a part of the recommendations. If you have any questions, please contact me. Respectfully, Doug Lazier. So I know that standing out there waiting to say their piece. So if you have something that you would like the council to hear, please make your way up to the microphone, speak clearly into the microphone, and please state your name and your name.
They know
Because that was a discussion with the commissioner. And there's a notepad now at the county on that podium for them to write their address
Oh,
down.
that's fine if they're right now.
My name's Larry Dean, I live at 17 East Main. I've lived in Jamestown since I was 5 years old. To me, the contention, I mean, it's a tough one, okay, because on one hand, I mean, the church has an albatross of a building, there's very limited what's in there, what ever do with it. Costing them money to maintain it, it's costing utilities. They need to get out from under that. I see the House of Grace, they're gonna buy this thing for $1. I see that part of it as well. My contention is not necessarily, first of all, nothing personal, like, I personally development. People understand to the rest of life, but that being said, over 60% of all crimes are drug and alcohol related. I don't look these statistics up, and I think the number was 26% of people who go through the rehabilitation programs actually live a straight and narrow life that they hope to achieve. And the other 74% revert back to their old ways within 90 days. That's not a judgment against these ladies. That's not a judgment against the House of Grace. It's strictly statistics. Now, that being said, this is an elderly neighborhood for the most part. So that concerns me because we don't have police protection 24/7 in this community. I mean, we do with Boone County, but it's not like 12 people. But So that's a concern of mine. It's also a concern of mine that my original understanding of the condemnation of the building was that the church had got a friend of a friend of a friend or whatever, an engineer that looked at it and said the building needs to be condemned because the floor is buckling in the sanctuary, which it is. The foundation is in disrepair. Well, it's disrepair or not, it's old. And so that brings a safety question. That wasn't the case. They hired a engineering firm that specifically does this kind of stuff. And they said the building was not safe. Then is when they got the friend of a friend engineer to come in and said, well, you know, this is a historic building. It's this, it's that, and whatever. And that still doesn't change my mind. This building has to be safe, or it's a historic building, whether it's not. Because they're proposing a community room, right? You don't have to, what, have 50 or 75 people in there, floor bubbles, and they fall into the basement. So I guess I'll wrap this up by saying the zoning thing, I think in fairness to the Methodist Church, I mean, mixed zoning gives them more opportunity, but I mean, there's a limited amount of things in the window. But at the end of the day, I think at a minimum, they talk about the parking lot. Before these people move in there, I think we need a recertification of the building for safety by someone that's in that line. I think we need to understand what the rules will be as far as, like, if you want to start a business or tenant, I mean, the board that takes care of the permits and stuff. I mean, they make you jump through hoops with all kinds of things. So my question is, they're going to have four, 5, 6 apartments. They all have to have individual bathrooms. Do they have to be board certified by the Board of Health because if there's community meals?
30 seconds, Larry.
If that's the case, they also have to have a cert person certified in food preparation to do that. So I don't think it's necessarily a good thing goes in the community, but I just think up front we need to have guidelines before they just move in there and help their skills and then hope they're going to do something later.
My name's Ron Enninger. I live at 38 South Lebanon Street here in Jamestown, right behind the pit stop. And I was kind of mixed between 1 minute I was thinking, yeah, this would be a good thing for the community. And the next thing I'm thinking, well, do I want this in the community? Just because of the concerns that come with it. When I read things on it, generally things don't happen. I've researched it a lot, more than I spend on a lot of things. But since the last meeting, one thing that I did look at, this really does concern me, and it won't concern those that don't live close to the facility, but for those of us who do, it's a known fact. I've got it right here from the internet that they find the neighboring treatment center is associated with an 8% reduction for your home cost. So that means there's a good possibility I'm going to lose 18 or 8% from a treatment center coming into our neighborhood. That's a lot of money. I've lived here 15 years and I try to make money when I sell my house, and this is going to put me behind the 8 ball already. However, it said if they treat opioids, it could be as much as 17%. 17% is a lot of money. Let's put it beside facility, your house, and think, well, I can eat 17%, I can eat 8%. I can't. So who's going to make up that difference? That's a huge number. And I think in consideration of voting something like this in, put yourself in my shoes or the neighbors that live right beside it and say, am I willing to give up 8%? Are you willing to sell your house? Say, I'm going to give Ron 8% because he just lost it. No, you're not. But this is going to put me behind the 8 ball and those who live close. And that's the problem now that I have with this facility moving in. I think it's an injustice if you guys voted in. For that reason, we've got a great community. I've been here 15 years. I love this town. I came from Richmond, Indiana. I speak highly of this town. I didn't come here to lose money. I just want your consideration when you're voting this. What would I do if they put it beside my house? Me and my husband, or me and my wife, or spouse, or partner, let's say, yeah, we'd be willing to give up 8 to 17%. I don't think you would. And if you vote that in for that, I just kind of wonder what kind of conscience you have because you would be willing to give that up. That's my opinion. I appreciate you consider that when voting this in because I think that's very important. There's a lot of houses in that area that's going to get affected. So that's all I have to say.
Randy Fenwick, 29 South High Street on those.
Okay.
Sure they can hear me.
Well, it has to be heard through the Zoom as well.
Yeah, it's going. I'm 36 years to find one of these. All right. I'm Randy Fenwick. And I live at 29 South High Street. My biggest concern is both what my neighbors, Larry and Ron, just said. I'm not going to try to repeat it. But I've been told that this is not going to affect our land, our value of our homes. And it is. And I can prove it. Location, location, location. I'm not against what you're doing. You're in the wrong location. You're surrounded by elderly and handicapped. Literally, everybody around that building is elderly and handicapped. The weakest part of society. Not sinners. We're not sinners. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm just as much Christian as anybody in this building. Ask God. This should not go in. We take a loss of this. We work so hard to keep our place up. Me being handicapped, I work my butt off. Keep that place up high and tight as much as I can. And I don't want that to change. I love this town. Always have. That's why we stayed here when we got married. And I'd appreciate it if you take that into consideration. And that's all I have. They said it all. Right? Good to hear back.
Anyone else?
Jason, it's not like
Please fix the microphone. Please.
Thank you, Jason.
Back in your band days, like on the road. 20 years.
Indianapolis resident, but the Pastor Community Fellowship, which is the owner of the property of which South High Street. So just want to acknowledge the concerns in the room. I recognize that, but also wanted to reiterate what I said on Thursday night. And then we're in here that Terry said. My heart as the pastor of one of the churches in this community, and my heart is as a vested interest party in Johnstown, is that I want nothing more than to be a blessing to this community and to do good in this community for people that are part of my church. And I would not be pushing for the House of Grace to receive this building if I didn't see this as a awesome blessing to the community. And I'll just acknowledge as well the concern about property value. So the concern there, the staff cited are referencing is it a treatment facility, whereas this is a recovery home. Those two things are not one and the same. So the property value that I've seen does not change for recovery homes such as this when they move in. But you know what we're talking about is an empty albatross building. And I don't desire that for this community. I think as we step into this new season of Jamestown, as we're about to grow, we're about to see a lot of change here in the years ahead. we want to put our best foot forward, and I actually think a part of that will be having that building being used still for a redemptive purpose here in this town. I'm thankful for the House of Grace and what I think we're going to bring to this community. Appreciate your all consideration. I know this is a tense thing, but thank you all for your consideration in all of this as we simply talk about the rezoning of this building. So.
Hi, my name's Ellen Cox. I live right next door to the church. Basically, I feel like the decision's already been made and I'm wasting my breath. But I do want to say one thing. The board is putting one property owner's interests above several property owners' interests. We are concerned about our houses. We are concerned about the price going down. And even though it is not particularly a severe thing where they're hospitalized or anything of that notion, it's still a recovery home. It is still, if I sell my house, one family in their right mind is going to want to move their children into a house where there are recovering addicts and drug people. So, I mean, I don't think you can just dismiss our concerns. And there are many houses around there that will be affected. And I'm sorry, just because it's a church doesn't mean they're not going to have to deal with the relapse and everything else that happens. Relapse within the first 30 days is 40 to 60%. Within the first year, it's 85 to 90%. And many of these people have co-occurring diagnoses of mental illness. So if you think it's not going to hurt our property, it is. There's no way that it can. I have been a nurse since 1972. I have dealt personally with alcoholics. I have dealt medically with alcoholics. Same thing with drug addicts. Both personally through a cousin that had a son that was a drug addict, and medically in places I worked. I'm not saying that what they're wanting to do is not useful and good. I am totally believe. But I don't think that the town should just look at one property owner over several others without considering just exactly what's going to use the rest of us. I'm not going to be here forever. I'm 75. I'm going to die and go on. But while I leave my kids, they're not going to be able to sell it for the same price. And it is a concern. And I do feel like that you should consider this, because there's several of us around that are concerned about it. That's all I have to say.
Hi, my name's Michelle Stanford. I live just outside of Jamestown, but I own the Jamestown Pizza King. And hopefully I can see you all. But maybe not after this meeting, I don't know. I understand. But a couple of things. I sold real estate for 20 years. I also was a mortgage loan officer for 5 years. I also started a women's recovery house and had that for 8 years. I also helped start the Indiana Association of Recovery Residences 12 years ago. when they came up with their standards that were to be followed by the state of Indiana regarding recovery houses. They're called IRR. So people get certified, the houses are certified, there's rules and things that they have to follow. But for me, this is a rezoning thing regarding mixed use and what is our mixed use used for here in Jamestown, I think is what is up for consideration. But also I wanted to just address the fact about numbers and house value. I pulled up from the property that we had in Lebanon that we held for 8 years that I purchased for $140,000. And 8 years later, we sold it. As a not-for-profit, we sold it. We didn't profit from it. A not-for-profit did. Because as a not-for-profit, you hand it off to somebody else, okay? You don't get money for that. But in doing that, they had to do a market analysis of the properties around it to come up with a value for that house. And so a couple of things I pulled up. We were at 227 East Superior, 218 East Superior in July of 2018, sold for $127,000. Last year, it sold for $235,000. That doesn't tell me that the neighbors were concerned about who was living next door, or that the realtor was concerned, or that the appraiser was concerned, or that the mortgage company was concerned about who was residing in that house to come up with a value. Additionally, the home at 302 East Elm Street, which was just 2 blocks away from our property, sold in June of 22 for $150,000. We were there in June of 22. In 24, in 24, it sold for $185,000. So it went up $35,000, despite the fact that our recovery house was just a half a block away. And just last year, it sold for $219,800. So having sold real estate for 20 years and mortgage loans, and just knowing real estate can go like this, and it has for years. But also being a good neighbor, most of these people don't know who your neighbors are, okay? So there's not a big sign out front that says, hey, 4 people in recovery live here, okay? It's not like that. That's the perception that people have, but that's just not the case. So I just wanted to address that, and the fact that I guess it just, the mixed use thing, I'm going to touch for just a second. But what I'm going to touch right now is that there's a difference between, well, not that there's really a difference between, but how people are addressed. And you call somebody a drug addict versus somebody that has substance use disorder. Okay, substance use disorder is a medical condition. Okay? You can check it on anybody you want with any. I've been to Washington, D.C. We have went over this, the medical versus the moral. Okay?
30 seconds, Michelle.
Okay. So the thing that I want to say is, according to the Jamestown development standards, that you guys have existing standards in place under the Unified Development Ordinance. And some of the things that it requires for the downtown mixed use is the respect of the historic content of downtown, create a vibrant, pedestrian friendly environment, and integrate residential, commercial, and activities. If 4 women living there that are in addiction recovery were living there, that's called integration. Integrating people within the public is integration, and that's right here on your mixed use. So I feel like it falls within all the requirements to rezone it. There's nothing here that would stop it. And regarding the other things, it's probably just a meeting for the next step, whatever that would be. So thank you.
Okay, I'll be really quick. My name is Kelly Arbano and I'm an assistant at the House of Grace Recovery Homes at the Doylestown location. That is at 4448 US 52. And I just wanted to say that we are self-funded. We do not take anybody on any type of MAT program. We actually we don't even do medications. And Tammy did has us on a very, well, I'm graduated, but still, she has us on a very rigorous daily schedule. And, we love to do the yard work, so like we're all about helping neighbors, but, yeah, we're self-funded, so we don't even do like what the state would require from a normal, halfway house, we'll call it. Being that it's faith-based, we don't even like to look at ourselves or call ourselves addicts or whatever. It's just, it's different. So a lot of the things that you're gonna find related to a halfway house, really, like those are all help get funding from the state, but being self-funded, and Tammy, she makes a lot of the rules, which there are a lot of, and we're also in the cigarette-free facility as well. So I hope that helps. Thanks.
My name's Rhonda Lee. I live at 17 East Main Street. I've got a lot of flack because I really don't want to make it lobby treatment, don't want, okay? I'm not gonna lie about it. And, but I want to say this, you've got to enter, if you have us across, we have to put them in there. Anybody else got any place by then they want to put him in? What's the feelings on that? It's not good. But yeah, I see nothing they bring to Jamestown, I really don't. They don't pay taxes, so it's not gonna help that. I just don't know what they would be bringing. They say they do, but I don't see it. No, and they say that they have people there that is in charge and is licensed. Why are you guys licensed? It would never been told that. So I would think you'd have to be licensed in something. Does anybody know? Yes, you don't. We don't either. So anyway, I'm against it. I can't have it. I lived here 70 years. I just don't want it. Just be truthful. I don't want it. And I'm sorry, but I don't. And anybody that thinks I'm wrong, then let it move in next year. That's all I got.
My name is Sherry Eaton and I live in Lebanon, Indiana, and never done anything like this before, but I just feel like there's a lot of misinformation about the House of Grace and what they do and everything. I was wondering if somehow you could do a town meeting and let the House of Grace present themselves and just let the whole town know what it is instead of, the misinformation that's going around. And I just, just suggest give everybody a chance, let the House of Grace have a chance to tell, what they're all about, how they do things. That's all.
Mary Bowley from Avon, Indiana. This just being a zoning issue, I understand. Because as a homeowner, we don't, as a realtor area, you don't get to choose who moves in next door. You don't know if they're coming in with alcohol issues or drug issues, or if they're gonna even take care of their yard. So to come up and to make this about who's moving in, sometimes I wonder, what would the neighbors have said about you if they had known everything about you before you moved into your house? So I think it's a zoning issue, which they qualify. So that's what the question, not who it is do they qualify for the zoning?
Hi, my name is Heather Dan. I live in Thorntown. I am from Lafayette, Indiana. I came to Tammy back in 2017. I had addiction really, really bad. Depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, multiple different things. And what Tammy offered me was someone to help support me. So if we're gonna do statistics, I kind of feel it to ask this question to everybody. You can answer if you want to, or you don't have to. If I can get like a hand raise, is that gonna be okay? Did I do that?
Council will. This
I
is
just think-
your opportunity to address the council. The council will
Okay.
not engage.
So, okay, well, that's okay. You guys don't have to engage. I was gonna ask them. Is that okay?
You're addressing the council.
Okay. Okay, so I guarantee that there is everyone in this room that knows someone that struggles with addiction. They know someone or know someone that knows someone. And we are not a type of person. I am no longer an addict. I have been clean next month for 9 years. I have a nonprofit in this community where God has told me to set out to empower his people here in Boone County. And I love Boone County because that's what God's told me to do. And Tammy has encouraged me to do that. She has spoken to my life and she has helped change my life. And so has the staff there. And without that program, I'm sorry, I take it offense that you guys see me. You guys make our job hard. Because I was a strung out addict that was on the streets and I had nobody. Because my family are in addiction still to this day. I had no one. And my family are still in addiction. And there are people out there that are dying. This is more than your house and how much it is worth. There are people to gain the whole world and lose your soul is not worth it. To gain. If I had the money, I would. I'm not trying to be hurtful. I'm just telling you that there are people out there that are struggling with this and this is what I was getting at with this. In 20 years, when you're not here, because I hear you guys saying that we're 75 years old and we're not going to be here anymore. In 20 years, when you're not here, this is an epidemic in this world today. This is a pandemic in this world today that we have got to come against. And when you are not here any longer, and your grandchild or your great-grandchild are struggling with addiction, I really hope that you don't look back and say, I really wish that place would have went in there. I really wish that it was here to be across the street because my grandchild is strung out. Because I'll tell you right now, my grandma, my praying grandma, never for 1 second thought that her granddaughter was going to be a strung out drug addict. But she also never really believed that I was going to serve Jesus with all my heart and love Jesus with all my heart. But you know what? It happened. So that it can happen. That's all I got. Thank you.
I just want to reiterate that you're addressing the council, not the.
People. Picking on house manager and Ms. Laird for the House of Grace. I want to say that I understand the fears and the concerns. But if nobody's ever given a chance
then that stigma is always gonna be placed on somebody. I heard it mentioned that, the weakest are in the middle of the community. Perfect place for those who are suffering from addiction because they are at the weakest. Our facility, our program, our house is small. And the relapse statistics that I heard. But that's why they're not, as a house manager, they are with me for 3 months. Yeah, I mean, they get to see my beautiful face every day. They get tired of me, but that, do drug testing. I'm with them all the time. And I am certified. I'm a mental health Christian coach. So, and not only that, I walk through it. Experiential knowledge is a lot. We're all broken people. We're all broken in different areas. Some of us might not have turned to substance for the pain. TV, phones, shopping, porn, whatever. Depending on how you look at addiction. But I'm not these people. I'm Vicky. Or not. My name is Jennifer Wetzel and I live in Thorntown. I actually serve as a house manager for the ladies in Thorntown. So it's myself and up to 4 ladies that will be moving into that house, the church building. It's my understanding that this is about rezoning, and as best I can tell, everything that we have stated that we would like to do for the betterment of this community would fall under that zoning. And to piggyback on what a couple of people have said, we don't know who's moving next door to us. We don't know if they struggle with alcohol or addiction. And again, we're not going to have a sign out front that says we have women in recovery. The truth is, we've all had pain in our life and we've all coped with it one way or another. Unfortunately, these ladies chose drugs or alcohol as a way to cope. But I'm proud of them that they were chosen to change that. And we are a 1-year faith-based program. I've been there almost 2 years. We've never had somebody OD in the house. We've never had anybody called to the house because somebody's been under the influence of something. That's just not the case. And so I do ask that we are all just people. And I do think that everybody deserves a second chance. I understand the concern. It comes from ignorance, and ignorance is not stupidity. It just means not knowing, not having all the answers. Like, we are not putting in 6 apartment buildings. I don't know where that came from. There'll be 2 bedrooms for each of the ladies, 1 for myself and 1 for my assistant. So there are not 6 apartments that all need their own bathroom and that sort of thing. I do think that there's a lot of misunderstanding about what we truly are. But again, I think when we come back to center, like the things that we have submitted that we would like to do at 42 South High Street absolutely fall under the criteria for the new zoning that we're asking for. I do hope that when Tammy Tidd comes up and is able to share a little bit about the program, I think she answered some questions last week for some people. I think she certainly can bring some more clarity to that. Thank you so much.
Jason Leibowitz, 210.
Yeah. Here's my tag.
I'll be quick. I've got this all fine. Jason Leibowitz, 210 South High Street. Also on the planning commission, also on the park board. So during the meeting, which I had the pleasure to conduct last time on May 7th, I took some notes I just wanted to share in case you guys have the ability to. Approximately, we had 12 people come up here and speak in favor for this project. Now, during this time, I kept it to where it was all about logisticals, infrastructure, Because if this business, that's how I look at it. I'm trying not to look at it on a personal level. They have to overcome a lot of hurdles with that building, with property. It's a long road ahead, and in my personal opinion, if they get there, then they have every right of a shot to do what they're doing as any other business that would use it under the same stipulations of the downtown mixed use. But we had 12 people that did not live in this town that were in favor. However, we had 7 that do live in this town, some in closer proximity to the property than others, that were against it. Their number one thing that they had in the constant through it all, besides the safety and resources of the town, like EMS or police, was parking and traffic. It was brought up by Ben that, you know, it's been a church for 150 years, rebuttal being that, well, that's one time a week, vice something that's active every day. I then talked to both of the people that are responsible for Thorntown and the Rensselaer home about how many vehicles would be present. We're talking minimal because the ladies that stay there don't have personal vehicles, maybe visitors. We talked about the map of the parking, which is the other thing, the parking. If they can utilize that grassy area right now with the signs at, basically that whole grassy area, fit quite a few vehicles in there, which will alleviate any type of congestion on times. As far as the business itself, 50-50 on it. I think people do need a place to go to fix themselves. Whether or not that's something that the studies on properties and all that, it's terminology. It depends on what you put into the Google machine to ask for. If you say recovery center, it gives you one thing. If you say shelter, it says another thing. If you put addiction center, it's all verbiage word salad as to what statistics you can pull to fit your narrative. I live far enough down High Street. I got 234 in my backyard. I can zip out that way. Doesn't affect me none too much the other. That's pretty much all I can say. Sure, it was under 5 minutes.
258.
Anyone else? One more time.
Amy Kidd with Thorntown. I'm the founder and the director of the House of Grace. First, I appreciate all comments, all concerns, because we always have concerns in our life of what's going on around us. There was a lot of questions asked last time. I hope I was able to address several of those. There were other questions that were asked, and I had took those questions home that were given to me, and I answered all of them. And I have a copy if somebody would like one. But we are a 24/7 monitored program. We're not a facility, we're a program. And we house ladies. We teach these ladies how to live in a home. Teach them how to cook. They don't know how to cook. How to do laundry, how to clean, how to do yard work. Teach them skills that a lot of them really hadn't done, but a lot of them have. We will never bring someone in that is still using. Never. They have to be detoxed before they ever come to us. And if anyone does relapse, we have a protocol for that. I was running the house myself for 7.5 years before Jennifer came in. One time we had one lady used, relapsed. She didn't overdose. She used at work and came home. I was out of town on a sabbatical. And I got a phone call about it. She was told she had to leave. We found her, she went home, she stayed with her mother, and if she got clean and sober again, she had to stay like a detox for a couple of weeks. We'd consider bringing her back. We never leave anybody in the house if they've used. That is it is a no tolerance rule for us. We never want to bring danger to anybody, including our ladies, including our managers. So we are going to be very careful about who we bring in the house. We don't bring in violent offenders. We don't bring in sex offenders. We bring in ladies who are asking for change, asking for help. If you've never had to do something on your own and you needed help, you're going to reach out and ask somebody to help you. I don't care what it is, what your struggle is. And yeah, we don't know who our neighbors are. We don't know what your past is because everybody has one. Our ladies are coming in to change their life. We happen to be a faith-based program. We teach them good ways of living. We teach them new behaviors and habits. Everybody uses because of bad habits and bad behaviors, or that's what develops out of that. They use because of pain. And just like Jennifer said, our ladies there's a lot of them that has went a different direction trying to deal with pain, and it just happened to be substance use. I've dealt with a lot of pain in my life. I chose something different, only because of the grace of God, not because of anybody else, because of God's grace. And so that's why I've had opportunity, and I'm sure most in this room have opportunity to use. You chose not to because of God's grace. So I'm just going to say that I am willing to stand and have a big town meeting, and let me just share every detail. I have some copies of our rules. I would love to share some of those, but because of time, I know we don't have time to share our rules. Yep, we do have several. They can say when there's a lot, there's not really a lot, but we have several because we want to run a tight ship. Our girls don't walk out the door. They can't just go roam the neighborhood. And one of the questions I know was brought up about the bus stop. I can promise you one thing. Our girls will not be standing at the bus stop waiting for your kids. We're not going to stand there. Oh, here comes the kids. No, we're not doing that. We don't do that. Our ladies are busy. There again is always going to be somebody with them. They're, where we're at out in the country, yeah, they can walk out that back door and go feed our chickens. Take care of our chickens and do those things. But in town, but no, we love the chickens.
Okay.
But in town, that's going to be a little different. We're going to have different challenges than we do out in the country. But we're ready for those challenges. Yep. We're going to deal with some stuff, and that's okay. Because we do believe that God's brought us to this moment, to this place, because it wasn't something I dreamt of. What I do was never a dream of mine. It was never. But God has a different plan for all of us.
1 minute.
And He did that. He changed my plans. But every girl in our house comes in broken, and we have watched girls leave different, changed. Heather being one of those. She was in one of my she was the fourth girl that came in our house. We've had girls, yeah, they leave because some really truly don't want change. And they relapse, and some has relapsed and got back on track because they realized, I don't want to go back down that trail. I don't want to go back to that lifestyle. And so I get calls, hey, can we just talk? We mentor our girls. We try to help them stay on track. But I promise you one thing, we want to be there to help you as a neighbor, not to hurt you. And every elderly person that lives around us, I promise you, if you allow us, we're going to be there to help you. And if we see you struggling across the street, we are crossing the street to help you, unless you tell us not to. Because that's what we teach them. We teach people to become good citizens, to do the best you can, and love people no matter what they do or say about you. All right, thank you.
Thank you. We'll ask one more time. You do not want to reiterate that this is to consider the ordinance 2026-05 for the rezone. The question is does this facility meet everything for the ability to rezone CF 15 feet? And it does. But as a public servant, people I serve, I will never not give you the opportunity to speak. 12 years ago, 10 years ago, when I became a council member, we had meet the candidate at the fire station. And Cookie was a writer for the paper. And I was asked the question, do you have what it takes to answer, to do and answer the hard questions? Can you make the hard decisions? You're going to be a hard one tonight. One of the ladies that stood up at the podium is like a mother to me. And I wasn't in as dark a place as the girls that are living in this house. But I was in a dark place when I came to this town. And I like to raise hell and I party down. And that ain't no doubt. And I surrounded myself by a gentleman that spoke at this podium and another gentleman that ran the hardware. And I played pool with them. And I was always ashamed if I was to get out of line. And I have family in this town that I was ashamed that if I got out of line. Because sometimes surrounding yourself with better company help carry you a long way. Like I said, this has not a damn thing to do with this rezone, but I want people to know why the decision I'm going to make is why. I think the girls, if they want to change, they have a right to change. This rezone has nothing to do with that. But them women, if they want to do better, they will. If they don't want to do better, they won't. There's nothing that we can do as a society. Either you want to change or you don't. And you're going to go down and smoke the dope or you're not. I want to address the value of your homes. As a public servant, I can appreciate that comment greatly. But as a council member, I also look at if they don't go in there and that building sits there and the church can't afford to maintain it. And the next thing we know, it looks like the old post office. The face of it's falling off, the roof falling in, then what's it doing to the property value? I mean, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, like I said, this is about a rezone, not the business. But we all know that this is the business that's going to go in there. They've been very public about it. It's been a community topic for a few weeks now. I think it's a great idea. I cannot remember the lady that said about the town meeting, but I think it's a good idea. If you want, you can open this room up. Or if you wish, you could have it at conference. And then, you know, let's inform the community. So, you know, sure, every decision I make sitting at this council seat, I do not please everyone, but I do have the town's best interest at heart, and I would like to see that building full and not empty. And again, this has nothing to do with the rezone. It's just what it is, the way I see it. The way I see it personally, as a person who has to sit here and make a decision move forward or not to move forward with the rezone. So, those were a couple of notes that I took down of the comments that were made. I love Rhonda Dean with all my heart. And I would do anything for that lady. But on this particular instance, do not see the same vision that she sees. And the only reason I mentioned her is because, like I said, she took a come home. So that's all I have to say about it. So with that being said, with the certificate of recommendation and a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission, now presented to the town council for considered on first reading.
Well, I would be lying if I said that I haven't slept good for the last 30 days because I haven't, because I've been back and forth because I knew not so much, that, as being a council member, I've got to go with what's put in front of me. It's are we going from CN to DT? That's the decision to make. But as a human, that's in the back of your mind. It's pretty well known. I have, ties to a building 75 feet from it, from the Methodist Church. My father-in-law lives there. And hopefully later than sooner, my wife and I will be living there. That's just how it's going to be. So it definitely has been another damn struggle, but I just had to keep coming back to know that what am I on council for? It's to make the decisions the way that's put in front of us to go with a decision based on the criteria put in front of you and not necessarily from your heart. I've made decisions over the past couple of years that I didn't necessarily agree with, but in the best interest of the town I went with, and vice versa. So to think that it's not been a struggle on a personal level, it has been. But I've got to look at it as a member of the council, and is this property, is it suitable to go from community facility to downtown mixed use? And in my mind, I don't see it any other way.
This fits the zoning necessary. As for me, I always believe in second chances.
William Monca. Can't hear you.
Sorry. I said, as for me, I always believe in second chances, and this. I think that this would be a good move for the church. To have another Christian organization. It seemed to fit. And I try to do what all need done or want done. But I just think this is a big thing for Jamestown.
Oh. Consider a motion on first reading.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-05 to rezone House of Grace from community facility to downtown mixed use.
I second.
On the first reading, of the second reading. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-05. Rezone House of Grace.
I said it.
All in favor? We'll move on, we can call about 5 minutes.
You're strict.
You take 5?
Yeah.
Oh, you're about supervisor to recess, yeah. That's gonna probably. Probably. Okay, probably.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I was selling it out, sorry. I know. You know, like that. Reminds me of sweet. Well, I don't know what my neighbors will think.
God bless you. We'll call the meeting back over. Thank you for the break. Consider the current easement purchase. Josh?
We've discussed this before and you guys gave the approval to move forward with purchasing the utility easement through the Purdy bill for $13,050. We finally got everything hammered out between the lawyers. Still the price is the same. It was some verbiage. Purdy's lawyers wanted changed, which will pass. But we now have everything put together for your approval. I believe they've signed their half of it. You guys just need to sign yours so that we can get cut and get the utility easement and they give it the courthouse. Got to record it. There you go.
Yeah, I don't actually think there's anything technically for you guys to sign. I think you just need to, they've already signed and executed the easement and sent it over to the town. Now it's just if, it's like the developer filtering it over, you guys need to accept the.
They've already sold it as if.
Yeah, pretty soon that it's done. It's just them approving.
No, I'm talking about the council's already said,
Oh,
the SBJC.
okay, but they still need to accept it.
Yeah.
They still have to approve it. Make a motion to accept the Purdy easement request.
The second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Josh. You know, Caliber Mobile Tenant Software Quote. Would you like us to speak first here? Yeah. Tell us what you want to do.
Okay, so, I want to preface this with the information I gave Lori.
Yeah, it's in your present. It should be, no. The whole, yeah.
there's additional equipment there for additional equipment. Perfectly okay. That wasn't submitted in time, and we need to table that until the next meeting. Whatever your discretion.
You want to take a look at the next meeting?
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, if that's
Because
what you
you're
would,
still waiting for a quote, right?
we are waiting.
On the table.
Three of each other units we got things. Everything is one away.
So you have two quotes.
1.5. That's one that gave a full quote, one that we're waiting for an update, and one that's but that portion we can take away, if that's what you guys would like.
Well, I mean, if you don't have all your proper documentation, you're closed. There's no sense in moving forward until you're ready. Okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So. Because I want to understand this. So you guys get, say you've got this mobile client software license.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna need all this stuff that's on this other list, correct?
Yes. So we can.
That's like $15,000.
Yes. Yeah. So just to give you an overview of the project we're working on, we currently do not have NDT's laptops in any of our fire trucks. These would be the same, different computer model, but same laptops that Marshall carries in each of his vehicles, allows for the same communication with his management, allowing us to get rank information and make unit status changes directly through the computer. Frees up radio traffic, also allows us to access information on scene, whether that's hydrants or building pre-plans, or any number of things. We have internet access, we have a computer in the truck with us, whatever we would need. Speaking from experience, as far as running go department, I can say that a couple of years ago, we were out on a missing juvenile out of the township. And I was standing at the back of somebody's vehicle with a clipboard and my phone trying to map out where all of my trucks were and where they were going. Having this equipment would allow us to easily track where units are coming from. There's countywide GPS on most public safety vehicles, not all of them. But we don't have any currently on the fire department. This would add to that list. It would allow us to check that information and better plan out how we respond to things. So the quotes I have presented to you guys, and I'm cool what we table up for next month. It's for upfitting for two vehicles, the engine and the Tahoe, which are our two primary apparatus out for every time. We plan in future years to add additional MDTs. So eventually, each of the vehicles would have an MDT and we'd be able to use that, whichever vehicle we have to take.
Any question in this? On the table.
Fine with that.
I move that we change number. And the next one.
Second. All in favor? Zach, for the next council meeting, can you make this a little easier for us three council members?
I kind of threw it together last minute, knowing that you'd be asking a lot of questions, so I'll make it look a lot prettier.
Fine, I think, what I would like is, because quite frankly, when we signed the last $6,000 package, and then each user is extra. I thought that was the golden ticket for communications for the fire department. And now I'm being presented with 3,000 here, 6,000 here, 3,000 here. You know, can the department really withstand that type of fees for communications? I know communications is very, very, very important. But did we get the cart before the horse to get the other program? You know, these questions are gonna be asked, and if you could, put it in a packet to where, you know, okay, we're currently paying 6,000 plus whatever per user, and then we need this one, so it would be, so I know that, you know, well, we need 3,000 and 6,000, so it's another 9,000.
Zach, is Laptops working with the program that we?
Yes, so they are independent of each other, but everything that you guys pay for in the first due application, it's inventory management, it's record keeping, it's all of the administrative stuff that you have to do day to day. So better inform you as the council. This project, I guess, is to allow us to utilize that information as well as information directly from dispatch in an emergency situation at the spur of the moment. It's not administrative, it is operational.
Okay.
So the other one is administrative. This stuff is operational.
Yes.
But they were kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can access the first due application from the MDTs here. And that is entirely the plan. Because we'll have identification, we'll have pre-plans in there, we'll have everything that we can get to today. When we're sitting at the station, we'll have that. And when we're on the scene.
Sure.
Now, are these two quotes independent of each other, or are they for? Because you have one for the mobile 10 and then one for the CAD.
Yes, the mobile 10 licenses, those are specifically for the MDT. The, I think it's listed as the XML API, I believe, I'm not sure the specific.
Yeah.
That is the integration piece between the county's CAD system, the computer aided system, and the platform. So that allows us, and you'll notice that that's not a quote from First Due. First Due doesn't charge for that API integration. It's Access that charges for that integration. That allows us to get real-time data from CAD to the First Due application, which allows for much, much better record keeping, as well as responder information. So we're not in a truck. If one of our responders is going directly to the scene for whatever reason, or we're in a truck that doesn't have an ADC, then we can look at the First Due application and be able to get most of the same information, most of the same, not everything, but most of it.
So you want to table one and go with the other, right?
We can do that.
Or does that require the equipment?
No, the mobile 10 software quote is the one we want to table. The standard XML export the one right, that does not require any additional.
So quote number 05910-1, that's one you want to table.
Yes, that is.
This is the one you want to table.
5910-. The quote 6140-1, we can proceed.
I don't have that.
Q058201. That's right.
Uh,
Do you have a new?
yeah, Joe may not have seconded the current, well, the current quote is in the package.
Okay,
I'm sorry, this is a mess.
it's okay.
So page 4 should be quote Q-06140-1.
4-6.
A total of $6,192.
Oh,
The previous quote, cheap leader sent expired.
and now the price went down.
Oh, I know. That I'm not sure. I don't have the old quote in front of me.
It was $6,384.
That's with the annual support, there's, adding that in on.
Oh, they may not have added that in on this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I seen the 648 here, that's why I thought that was it.
So how about I make a request that we table both the quotes and still make them. And we'll come back with accurate information and a clean presentable format.
Thank you.
It's gonna make the stuff for the years. Right, before here.
What do you look on this? Table. Now, that was also number 6. New business considered from engagement letter. There is nothing different. This engagement letter is start of the new year, same thing we do every year. Motion.
Make a motion from engagement letter.
I will second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Number 8 is review photographers, construction plan and reviews for inspection services. So, briefly, we were given an email and a letter for TLM. They no longer want to serve the county of sound. This happened 2 days before I went on vacations.
A month ago or so.
I called, made a decision with Deb. Deb has 3 inspectors. Same price that we were paying TLM. Look, I can't let these wheels fall off going on vacation. Can you just cover building services while I'm gone? She said yes. In our contract with contractors for our planning services, it states in there that she can supply building inspection. So, with that, everything ran through Deb. Nothing is costing the town any more money. Nothing is saving the town any money. But at least it'll be ran through one person that will be coordinating the planning and the building inspection. He's gonna do her building inspections at $125 an hour. It's the same thing TLM was doing.
Will that change the actual, what the, when we go out for inspection at AFB, when we changed all that not too long ago, is that all?
Permit fees, talking about permit fees.
Permit fees and stuff, will those all still be the same, or will we have to?
No, it'll be the same.
Everything. Yeah, because TLM was at 125, it's the same money.
So it'll be the same when they go out to inspect, whatever they'll be. Not much other than who's doing it.
You mean what we charge the people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that will not change because we adopted those rates.
Gotcha.
So no matter who is our building inspector, those rates are in place.
So yeah, I just, you know,
We're gonna have building inspectors.
My suggestion, motion to authorize
yeah,
what do they call code crafters to form the building inspector services pursuant to the 5/7/2024.
Motion. Make a motion to approve code crafters, construction plan reviews and inspections. Do inspections as of the 5/7/2024 contract that was in place.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Lori, you guys have had good, communications from the inspections that they have done.
Yes,
Everything seems to be working smoother.
yes.
That's good. Josh? Consider lawless estimate for security cameras 1043.
So what's brought this up, we actually had a theft of spool wire that was being stored at the FTIC tower. It's still under investigation, so that one is deferred to Aaron on that. So what we have is, we're out there at the water tower, is 2 cameras, and then we have basically the recorder. We will need internet, but I have a solution with the next quote that takes care of the internet part. So this is just to get cameras out there. Luckily, FTIC had a camera that caught the vehicle, but it was good quality, but it wasn't close enough to get detail where if we have it out there. Not only that, it also gives us a chance to pull up cameras and see what is going on out there, both weather conditions and if we get a call or something from our SCADA system, kind of see what's going on. So there's that. Talk about the next one, or you want to go ahead and see?
Go on to the sewer plant.
Okay, so because we are expanding up there at sewer plant, I feel that we're in the same position that we'll be with the, over at the water tower. Need to be able to see, more of what's going on up there. One is we can actually see what's going on in the tanks, as well as any access in and out with cameras. So talking to Mitchell, what we came up with is, right now we currently have a Verizon 5G internet mode up there is what we got. Mitchell says we can actually go from our radio tower and tie into the internet at my shop, and basically the same way I like the line of sight, so we can still get internet up there at the sewer plant that'll come off of my shop. Then we can take the 5G modem there and actually transfer it from the sewer to the water and place it out at the other. So it does not cost us any more for internet. So all it is the equipment for it. It'll cost us at the sewer plant for 3 of the pole mounts. It's $1,435 a piece for $4,305. Multi-pole selector antenna, $765, and then the cameras. Basically, the cameras and everything work the same way as everywhere else. So actually, Pam and Rick can actually pull it up here at the town building as well, so we'll be able to actually see. They have access to be able to see that stuff. So total for sewer plant, $6,865. And it was $1,205 for the water tower.
So the internet that you're gonna get from the sewer plant is where?
It's piggybacked off my internet at the shop.
You can put a, repeater or on the tower at the
Basically,
shop.
like Highlines. Highlines go,
The new internet we're getting that for the
it
people.
won't make a difference. It's piggybacked off of what I have at my shop.
So who gets charged for the internet?
There's nobody, we're already paid.
It sounds like it's a relays.
It basically all is.
So then
Yeah, so you're utilizing something already.
$dollars off of the sewer
And put it on the water, correct.
water.
So.
I think having cameras on all town assets is a very good idea. At some point, I think it's a good idea to have cameras at wells 4 and 5.
Which
Not today, but at some point, I mean, we need to look at that.
Well, I'm talking to Mitchell on it. He knows for short range, these antennas are working well. It's the long range. They say that they can go up to 3 miles. At that case, just like we use our SCADA system for the water now, it talks to the FTIC tower, water tower antenna, and it comes back. So possibly we can do the same thing in all of the 5G internet that we put out there that we can lay out to the wells and set up cameras out there.
And the hardboard shed.
Hopefully nothing happens.
Y'all, make a motion to approve Lala's estimate for security cameras -1043 and Lala's estimate for security cameras at sewer plant -1050.
That motion I am. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Second thing that's in front of you is some paving quotes. The one that needs to be done is on West Mill Street and it's a patch. We got a spot in the road down there that I'm surprised we do not have residents calling in and screaming. It is over about a third of the road has failed.
It's always like that, isn't it?
No, it should be. I filled it in a couple of times, but we can't keep patching. The business along there, did some drainage work a few years ago. I was putting it off to try to, that was one of the streets to be put on the paving, but it has gotten to the point that we need to do patching and fix that area of the road. So that's Young and Sons, quote for the $8,750. Then the other ones that are here, the end of Darlington Street that we annexed in, Baumgartner is the contractor that is looking for the housing addition out there. So I thought it just to see what it would cost us while they were here with the equipment. And it was $40,404. Had Young and Sons also while they were in town quote that one. And theirs is $54,656. So one is because Young and Sons would have to rent the equipment to do the milling that needs to be done out there. Subcontractors. But Baumgartner's already going to have the equipment here, which we're taking all the millings because there's part of when they paved out there in the housing addition, it turned out to be a real rainy day. So there's quite a bit out there that they have to pull out and put back because I wouldn't accept it. So they've got to go in there and do milling. So we're taking all the millings for the sewer plant up there for parking and all that fun stuff. So We are trying to save money elsewhere. But, we do not have to pay Garland Street right at the moment. It was why everybody was there. I thought I'd see what it would cost. Will it eventually need to be done? Yes. I believe, we're still going to try this year for community crossing grant.
I don't know when, I gotta figure out when they
Right.
started, but they're only doing one
Right.
year.
That was what the issue was last year. Right. So, well, I mean, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up now. So.
I mean,
get
when
prepared.
they send out a call for projects, we're all going to find out when, I think we should already be ready.
No, that's the reason why I'm just bringing it up now. Last year, they moved it to one and it was in the fall.
Right, I don't know.
So.
Let's see.
But like I said, for the patch on West Mill Street is the one that we need to get done. The Darlington Street, I leave in your court to decide if you want to, the part that we annexed to bring it to our standards versus the county's.
Is Baumgartner already gonna be here?
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked for them to quote it, because they were already going to be here.
Okay, so here's my question for you.
Yes.
If Baumgartner's already gonna be here for the housing edition,
Correct. And you were patching on other streets that they, that's part of the utility.
I wanna save the $10,000 for the mobilization of the milling crew and for the asphalt crew at $5,100 each.
Where are you seeing that at?
Yeah.
In the fine print. No, if they're here, why do we gotta pay it?
Exactly right. I missed that.
That's 10 grand.
No, I agree with you. Third one. Yep, no, I see it. I see it now. I missed that one myself.
So,
But you're right, they're bringing the milling machine out, so therefore we should not have to pay for that if they're already here. Yeah, that's the whole reason behind it.
and we have done no work with Baumgartner. So before anything was done, Patrick's gonna have to review their
Right.
stuff.
And this is, and reconstruction is in period.
Right, just because we were working with Steve when I was asking. So they just put it under their name. So, like I said, this is not what has to be done. This is just why I thought why they were doing it. They're here. Baumgartner is well used. They're just not only over in this area. They're over the Fishers.
And I'm looking at $8,700 for Mill Street. And then if I go with the 40,000 from Baumgartner, I'm still at almost 50,000. 49 something, 49 some change. So 49, you're at 50 grand. And if you get them to take that $10,000 off, we're at 30 grand.
Correct.
And you definitely have the money.
Yes.
So.
I mean, if you want to prove it on the Baumgartner thing, on the basis that they subtract the $10,200 since they're going to be here, if they don't, then they don't do it.
So when are they going?
They're supposed to be here. They're already out there grading right now, so they're still trying to. Yes, they're trying to get paving done as soon as possible.
And we're doing this. The Darlington Street.
Yes, the part that we annexed in.
Okay.
So that's all, that's county standards. That's the chip and seal and all that. So
the road will break down with heavy, but
Shouldn't we wait until, they get done?
They are done. The big equipment, most of the big equipment's out of there, yes, the only thing that's there is one pipe crew. So, that is done, they are, as you know, they've already got 2 building permits going, I did get the chance to go out there this afternoon, I passed them this morning, I'm pretty sure they went out and dug footers. So,
It's really good at that.
yes, so, do they? I didn't see it. Too steep. So. But other than that. Like I said, they're moving forward out there. So like I said, I just thought why equipment was there and all that stuff, so I can talk to them if you, like I said, if you want to approve it on the intentions or on the basis that they subtract out the $10,200. And
The 5,200 for the milling crew and the $5,000
Yes.
for the paving crew.
right,
I would make it a contingent on them accepting town's standard contractor.
I was going to say,
I saw that,
yes. Approval.
yes.
Got all that wrote down, Ben?
So we want to approve the 8732. The Young Sons, correct?
Yes.
Yes. We want to approve Baumgartner at Johnson. Okay, let's do Young Sons first. I make a motion to approve Young and Sons for $8,752 for the removal and replace section of West Mill Street. I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And let's see here. Baumgartner, make a motion to approve Baumgartner to do the mill and resurface of Darlington Street. On the, let's see, how I want to say that. On the contingency of the deletion of the $5,200 for the milling crew, $5,000 for the asphalt crew, and that it complies with our contract and the meeting through.
Now you missed the word. I missed the word. Do it again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass that.
Clerk treasurer?
So do I have you signed this yet or no?
Not until Patrick. And not until, because I wanted to say that the $10,200 was taken off. When Josh gets that recording, and then Patrick reviews it, then I'll sign it. I'm not signing one that says 40 grand.
No, I have nothing.
I've got nothing to report either.
Josh? Talk into the mic, please.
Okay. We, as stated by John earlier, the PAFA, Ryan has already started the restoration down there. And 10 times better than what PAF was trying to do. Other things, out there in the housing addition, Ilka's subcontractor, Pink Lady, has got everything in what was considered 1A, which is what they plotted, all the boxes and conduits in, so Ilka should be in within the next week to start pulling wire in that area. We can start moving forward with laying the conduit and stuff like that through pervious field as soon as everything is recorded. So, which will help. We did have to do a temporary feed for right now because we did not have in time the pervious easement done. So we did have to do a temporary feed for it. That will be a bill that we'll have to pay because it was on us. So, but other than that, the, think I have anything else at the moment?
Hold up, please.
Yep.
So I have something for Patrick and the council. I have an issue, as Josh stated, we are storing the wire for a leak at the FTIC tower in a chained in area. We're storing their material. Some crackhead steals their material. It's on town property, and Josh gets to buy it because he's liable.
Right.
But his utility, electric utility, is going to buy another roll of wire. I don't have $5,000 to be buying another roll of wire because some crackhead. And I think that it's the council's responsibility that if a leak wants to store material inside that chain link fence, that we have an agreement wrote up, that that's fine, but we're not responsible for it. So if said thief comes back again and steals it again, the electric department is paying for it. That's my opinion.
Put together a hold harmless agreement where, we're agreeing to store their
And
material.
whatever they put in there, we're not responsible for it. We will hold it because Josh explained to me these are giant rolls of cable that you can't, well, I guess evidently you can tie them to the back of the truck and drag them down the road. But it isn't like, because I asked why they're not getting one of them shipping containers and storing it in there. And there's no way to do that.
No, not with.
So they're using a crane to pick these up, or lots of people are. I don't want to be responsible for any more material out there.
I agree.
I definitely agree.
So, Josh, we're gonna have Patrick come up with something, and you're gonna have to present it to them, or we're not going to,
No, that's fine.
they're gonna have to come and get their stuff.
Right. And that's where I think the argument could be made is it could be IMPA because IMPA is the one that actually bought the material. It was just payment through us back to them. So I'm not sure 100%. I know IMPA ordered a new spool. So that is a lawyer question of where the responsibility lies. Is it because it's on our property? Or is it, since IMPA is the contractor that is doing the work and this is actually their material, paid for by Indeed. So, but they were the ones that are contracted. But I do understand if he gets one drawn up, I will have that conversation and we will get something figured out.
Then I might reach out with some more information on where that's being stored and who and all that kind of stuff. So, but I can get something drafted.
I don't want to be responsible for it.
I
They don't have anywhere to put it, and that's where they decided to put it.
Well,
and we were not told about it being out there.
Well, unfortunately,
which I don't care.
I would have had it stored at the sewer plant, but with everything going at the sewer plant, there's just no room for it. And the only other facility that we have that is big enough it is a water tower. So, at one of the water towers. So, but I totally understand where you're coming from on that. So, me and Patrick will work on that.
Hey, one thing, Josh, do you foresee any issues with that road going through there with where the fence is already? Are they gonna have to put a side edge on that road as they will it mess up your drive?
No.
Should be good there.
No, but we're not to that point quite yet. The easement is separate from the road, which we'll discuss next council meeting.
Gotcha. I was just thinking security cameras and on the fence and.
But no, because there's some other issues we have to deal with on that is the fact that the town, whenever the road was built, they never actually divided the easement off for a road easement. So when we do that, FDIC did for half the road, we're responsible for the other half. So there was never actually a road easement from the town given to the street department, so to speak. So, that's going to be another side of this that we'll have to do at the time. But all right.
Aaron? Please speak clearly and into the mic, please.
My name is Mike. Good evening. Rather incorrectly, it's labeled, this year's activity report's labeled as March. I think we're gonna see. So, we had 22 traffic stops with 8 citations issued, 15 warning to vehicle for an out. We had 2 crash reports, we had 5 runs assisting another law enforcement agent. We had 6 runs assisting fire EMS. We had 3 case reports, 1 for theft, burglary, 1 for resisting law enforcement, first one, and 1 for driving offense. We had 2 burglar alarms, 3 arrests, 1 was outright. Warrants. We had 1 domestic, 1 civil disturbance force reports of suspicious activity, 3 investigations ongoing, 1 welfare check, and 47 extra patrols, 27 police services. We had 3 dogs picked up at once, taken home. 16 ordinance services that consisted of 8 letters sent out for warnings, 3 vehicles tagged, 1 vehicle towed, 10 or so follow-ups on that, with around 4 hours spent on ordinance for a total of 146 calls for service. As Josh pointed out, we had a burglary and theft from the town's water facility on International Drive. I do have suspects. One of them is already incarcerated for various other misdemeanors, and county, or I'm sorry, Lebanon PD is working a case that may involve further suspects. Try to get our ducks in a row on that. Cameras, I was going to bring that up. It sounds like you guys are ahead of the curve. Gotta happen. Shame. We need to have some sort of remote monitoring at every town facility, especially when it comes to the drinking water. Now we are in a disagreement with some individuals in the Middle East, and I know I think that on one they're pretty federal government pushed heavily for drinking water safety plans and well security. So keep in mind. But notice my Tahoe doesn't have any graphics on it currently. It's because they're going to be replaced. Both Tahoes will have new graphics. Waiting. Why? But we're still waiting on the Google graphics to get us in to address that and replace some burnout lights. All that's taking way longer than. Hey, bro. JV officers went out to the track last week for the Boone County Cooperative EVO, Emergency Vehicle Operations. We try to do that about every summer. So we're dying to the 11 PD, Boone County Sheriff, one time PD, right there, getting cars sick all over the place. Anything else?
Fire department?
Stop in front of one arch and see them.
You're on Facebook.
All right. Month of April, fire department had 18 total incidents, 9 EMS drones, 6 fire incidents, 1 was assisting incident, and 3 vehicle accidents. We added 2 new members to the roster. We now have a total rank of 23 individuals. Chief Weaver wanted me to remind you, if you haven't seen the invite already, it's July 14th. He is meeting with the ISO folks and invited the town council as well as Josh to attend that meeting. Also, thank you to Josh at the utilities for hanging our sign and our new air hoses at the station. To wrap up, just wanted to let everybody know, big thank you to the Tackman community as a whole. We raised $3,500 at the baby supper last couple weekends ago. That money has already been earmarked for CPR education and EMS supplies. And thanks to a grant from, and which Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong, the Greater Jamestown Area Fund.
Good job.
We got a grant for $51,000. Huge grant for user around. Everybody knows a lot of our dues expire next year. That allowed us to buy 13 brand new sets of turnout gear to outfit both our existing members and several of our new members. And for the first time in my memory, or my time on the department, several of our members will have 2 sets of gear, which is the industry standard. If you go into a fire, you usually have to clean your set of gear that was in the fire. So it's a cancer prevention thing, but that allows us to put another set in service temporarily. So we don't take entire people out of service due to not having. And the only other thing I had on here, I don't think it mentioned as an ordinance, so I'll make sure that it gets included next month. You wanted an ordinance for the events for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we have a resolution.
September 12th, we are going to host a touch a truck in partnership with the Jamestown Community Foundation.
Greater Jamestown.
And December 12th is Super Santa. That's all I got. Any questions for me?
I do.
Okay.
See Joe up there. So, great news, Greater Jamestown Area Fund. That's awesome. I was looking at last month's email of your members and who was getting equipment. Not speaking for the other council members, I'm telling you my opinion. The 4 members that are at the bottom of that email that are in yellow, Mackenzie Calvert, Mike Calvert, and there were 2 others. I cannot remember their name off the top of my head. But their status is unknown. And I personally have issues buying new equipment for someone who has a status of unknown. Now, hear me out. I know for a fact that your fire department has bylaw. And I know for a fact that you have a definition of what an active firefighter is. So I don't understand how their status is unknown. If they haven't stepped foot in the Jamestown Fire Department 2 or 3 years, why are we spending $5,000 on equipment for them?
2 of those members have since resigned. We pulled it back earlier in the last month. I'm not sure when it was, but since the last meeting, 2 of those 4 members have resigned. Cannot speak to the status. That's a question.
Let's see, anyone resign? I just don't want to be buying equipment, fitted equipment for people that you don't even know that is. And I didn't know that, and I haven't received an email telling us that. So I am only going off of my communication.
I understand. I believe the 2 members that we still do not know the status of, and we'll look into that. They have newer gear, so they were not paid.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be in gear. I'm just saying they shouldn't be buying new gear for people like that.
Every set of gear we got fitted and we ordered was for an active. Okay, has shown up recently, never.
That's all I had. I just had concerns about the new gear being fitted.
Yep.
As stated.
Anything else?
I do not.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Building planning. There are 2 permits pending issuance for, the new development. Permits issued, electric fence, and accessory structure. Inspections, we've done a footing slab inspection, electrical inspection, a final inspection, and another footer slab foundation. I think the girls are gonna start picking up here. Just starting to warm up, everybody's out fiddling around their yard, wanting new fences and sheds and somebody wanting a bunch of new houses, so the girls are gonna be busy. And hopefully everything that we've worked for to get there will help everything run smoothly. So close. JCP?
As stated before in one of the resolutions, June 20th, is the 250th celebration in downtown, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., which coincides with the farmer's market as well. We're going to set up a small stand up there and give away flags for people to put in their yards. And then from 11 to 1, the Historical Society is going to serve ice cream. Whether it's fresh turned or
Homemade.
it's homemade, so who cranks it, I'm not sure, but that'll be served until then, so.
That would be you.
That's, quite frankly, that's all I got. It's really not much going on, so.
Any question? Brian, I do got a question for you, and it's nothing to do with JCP.
Okay.
That fencing that's up at the park, is that your fencing?
Yeah.
Do you want it back?
I can just pitch it. It's been so abused, it's not in one piece anymore, so.
I mean, I'm gonna be up there, and I can load it in my truck and throw it in my dumpster. That's absolutely no problem.
Yeah, I pretty much
But it
just
was mentioned that they thought it was your fencing,
yeah.
so just throw it away.
I had it included in the initial estimate for the footers,
Okay.
so.
Well, I'm gonna throw it in the dumpster tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Okay. RDC,
Nothing to report.
Martin's. I'll make sure I wait.
So I wanted to publicly thank Barillo's Pizza. I'll just start with the tree. Okay. So on April 10th, we planted 500 trees with the help of FTIC.
Fine. Thank you.
April 10th, we planted 500 trees in the nature park with the help of the Boone County Invasive Club, the Tri-West FFA and Agricultural Science Club, and FTIC. FTIC provided the most bodies. What I thought was pretty cool is the majority of the people that did it last year did this year too, and we were super efficient. So efficient that some of the high schooler kids we put on test full garlic mustard, a dumpster with bags of garlic mustard. As soon as we were done, we started talking about what's next. We're going to work on the frontage of the park. So basically, it is the front, push our way back to the creek. That way, we will have that whole 2/3 of the park done, and we start working on the other side. Want to thank Barillo's Pizza. They were only supposed to provide pizza for the Tri-West kids that came up there. They ended up providing pizza for the Boone County Invasive Club and myself and a couple other people. Couldn't have done it without FDIC. Can't say that enough. They provided close to 30 people in the morning, close to 30 people in the afternoon. School brought 16. At one point we had close to 60 people out there either pulling garlic mustard or planting trees or helping in some way, form, or fashion. As you know, you guys were, I think, gone for it, but the shed thing is moving forward. Lori's kind of got the helm for that. We picked out colors, all the business stuff that she's working in. I know Ryan is going to be working the area where the shed's going to go to get it all leveled out. That dirt's supposed to go to Josh. We talked about the festival upcoming in October, kind of kicking around ideas, trying to get timelines together when we need to pull triggers on certain things. And lastly, the farmers market. We had our first one because the one in April got postponed due to weather. We had 6 of the 13 vendors. My call out this week, we're gonna have 10, possibly 11 of the 13 vendors. We got a couple that have a few things going on, but this should be the new norm from here on out. Starting to learn the first week being tough for some folks just because of graduations, open houses, proms, that stuff that goes on in people's life. But yeah, that's all I have.
Good. I have a question.
Sure.
So when are you getting the tree out?
I opened up communication with him yesterday about that, have not received anything
Because the
back.
dirt that Ryan takes out is going in that hole.
Yeah, I should.
Not-
Pete's normally pretty good about email, so I'd imagine by tomorrow afternoon we'll have some sort of game plan possibly for this weekend. If not first thing next week, maybe, but because the weather is starting to look better to do something like that. We were waiting for it to rain, so a little bit easier to pull it out by being all blocked hard. We're getting ready to get some rain tonight. I think we're getting some this weekend, so it's
Quiet about that.
yeah, I know. I want to go to the track on Sunday too. But yeah, it's a coordination thing. But Pete, I'm open pretty much to anytime he wants to do it. But this is a busy time of year for him as well. He's the one with the equipment. Be able to pull it.
Would you be opposed to be taking that tree out when I'm there digging the foundation?
Not at all. I mean, you just let me. You got my personal number. You let me know. I'll come down there.
I just assumed do that instead of dragging a bunch of other equipment there because I got to fill the whole back end anyway.
There's a practical way to do it with your skid steer. I watched plenty of videos, so
I just take the excavator, pull it up, and give her.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But anyway, we'll get it. Getting that taken here, Ricky.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Public request to speak related to an agenda item. Anybody else? Wrong color sweatshirt, did you talk?
I know.
Sorry, I should have blocked out what I was wearing.
So first of all, again, just want to thank you guys for the decision tonight. That was a tough thing. If anybody has blood pressure medicine they're willing to provide me after everything, I would appreciate that. But the other thing, just a point of clarification on the stipulation that was given by you guys last week and then reiterated by you all just about the parking lot on the building. I just want to make sure that I understand the timeline correctly on that so that I help facilitate that as well as possible. What I understood you all say last week was 1 year from the sale or transfer of property.
It's 1 year from the approval.
Right, and that was what I heard too. So that's what I wanted to clarify.
So I mean, it's gonna be 1 year.
Okay, 1 year from two. All right, so that was all I needed to.
And they have already signed their commitment letter and had it recorded.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Ben, just so you know, I mean, it was read in the meeting that with the condition that a parking area be installed within 1 year of zoning approval.
Yes,
It was zoned tonight.
Yes, but then it also says there are no conditions.
No, with the recommendation, that means that the planning commission is not recommending that they're not recommending or are recommending anything about the.
So there's a section of the code that covers what are called commitments in the zoning law. And basically a developer or somebody requesting a zoning change can make a recorded enforceable commitment in order to incentivize either the area plan commission or the legislative body that they're requesting that zoning change in front of to grant the zoning
Okay.
change.
So
That's what this is, and it's enforceable.
It just read weird. No, she was talking about the favorable recommendations, but there's no recommendations of the plan commission. Yeah, on staff's report.
Yeah.
And again, Gene, that is what I understood you would say tonight. It just, I was wanting to clarify the discrepancy between what I heard last week versus what I heard. So thank you.
Tammy Ted has already filed counting her commitment. So, yeah, she is moving right along with it.
She's on.
Any other comments?
Yeah, so what questions?
Yes, sir.
On paving Colorado. We're doing anything with Columbus Street.
Yeah, I mentioned that they'd be doing their patching the same time that they're on their.
So it's gonna patch it? What about?
But, okay, when I'm saying patching, it's not just a pothole, they're actually going in and taking out the whole road from where they cut it down to the mailbox area, so where the worst running area was on Columbia Street.
That's the whole street.
No, not the whole street.
It's broken to a million pieces now, all the equipment up and down there.
The road was already in bad shape before they ever started.
I understand now, you have a million pieces now.
Well, it's still the same way. It was already cracked. I had them getting the worst running areas out, which is their responsibility to do. The road is already on the list to be paved to begin with.
Well, I see the green paint is from my mailbox to 20 feet. That's it.
Pretty much.
What about what about the broken driveways and broken pattern?
There's broken driveways and stuff like that, and guys need to report it, so we can take care of it. Can't do anything if I don't know about it.
Yeah.
It's not my responsibility to survey your driveway to see what the conditions were before and after. That is your personal property, not the town's. So if you have any concerns or conditions that you'd like to have addressed, we need to be known, neighbors, everybody. I know you're in contact with them. If they have any issues, let us know so we can address it and get it done. One is, the off-site easement work that they did. They seeded one side of it, we rejected all of it. They've got to come back through and redo all that.
It's terrible.
Yes, so they've got to bring in about 3 or 4 truckloads of dirt and redo it all. So I'm not letting them get away. Same thing with Ash Street, they're paving from basically the mailbox of, Shane Hospital down in Brookstown, south, or to the east, to the creek at the bottom, right? So, but yes, if there's any concerns you have, let me know so I can get them addressed.
Good.
Sure.
Okay, we're still looking for one park board member. The RDC meets May 14th at 6:30, park board May 26th at 6 p.m. There is no plan commission. BZA will meet June 4th. Town council, I think, will meet June 2nd. Anything further?
Nothing from me.
Cookie?
I move we adjourn this meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All of it. Yeah, it was about legislative session.
No.
That came out of it.
No.
Yeah.
Something going on, and I was like, after anything, I have to ask you this question.
Open button.
Seven.
He wasn't.
We just busy.